Right, we're going to talk a little bit about mistakes and feedback. Will just be the key topics presented in Jeremy Harmer's chapter in the practice of English language teaching. Here we go. Key topics in mistakes and feedback. First, we can talk about mistakes and learn a language, and there are certain types of error. We can talk about L1 interference errors, which are errors that the speakers make because they transfer elements, vocabulary, syntax, morphology, grammar and vocabulary from their native language, and they think that they can apply it just the way things are in their native language. Then there are developmental errors. Part of the fact that there's a learner language, it's a language that's being developed in a way you can argue it's a language in its own right with its error types. And examples here are that they may overgeneralize. So when they, for instance, they might be taught as, you add ed every time something is in the past, and then they might in fact start adding ed to forms that already have the ed in them. So they might have come across danced and say, oh yes, this is past, I have to add the ed to become, so it's going to be, for instance, danced did or something. But they tend to overgeneralize. Okay, they're really learning and want to be really sure, so they add this ending where it should not be because they overgeneralize. Okay. Another interesting element to look at is how to work on assessment of students. I think it's very important here that you do with spoken English, very important to keep the communicative focus, so you don't interrupt things and you don't have a communication breakdown just because you wanted to say, remember, it's not he say, it's he says. So what you want the students here to of course keep on. So if you're going to correct them, you're going to do it gently. Okay. You like also students to assess themselves. Okay. And if you look at the B2 section on page 141, there's a nice grid where they can sort of work on how to evaluate themselves. And you might, of course, go through the grid with them first so they understand what the grid is all about and what the individual grids, the individual cells mean. So when it comes to oral work and feedback, you'd like to sort of, you can distinguish between accuracy feedback and fluency feedback. Sometimes the communication is in danger of breaking down completely, and here you might help as a prompter, giving them nice words so that they can get the communication back on track and don't resort into their native language. You can also give, of course, a feedback on accuracy. Okay, and if you could do that gently, then it's all right. Okay, because you also want the students to think about their language and think about getting things right. Not in the beginning, but at least, but at the end, they sort of constantly work with getting things right. There's an R too many there, isn't it? We should do something about that. Okay, accuracy. And when it comes to feedback, we can say that process is over when the mistake is understood by the students. Okay, and the new rules have been integrated into the memory system, into the cognitive system of the learner. So the learner language now has that rule in it, and the student has made it to the next level. When it comes to feedback on written work, I like you to go by the medals and missions approach, so that when you mark a paper, you find out, many terms, what's the communication like, how can I help the students get his message across a little better, has it taken the receiver into account, and so on and so forth. And then you work on, does he know something about the genre, then you work on grammar, vocabulary and spelling, all these things. When you look at the general communicative skills first. Okay, I'll say a little more in just a wee while.